The North will never allow Nigeria to grow. The North will never allow Nigeria to develop. And I'm going to list a few things why this is so. Now, the other day I was traveling from my dad's burial, and we made a stopover in Abuja in the night. Cows are being herded through the streets of Abuja. In which country where you see the main capital, that road that leads to Transcorp Hotel, in which country in the world would you see that farmers are herding their cattle on the major street of the capital of a nation? Where? Now, one other thing that will prevent the North from allowing Nigeria to develop is...
Hello and what's up, guys? In this video, what you're about to hear may sound hard, especially if you are from northern Nigeria, but it is the raw truth. A passionate Nigerian man has gone viral after boldly exposing how the North is dragging Nigeria backwards while the rest of the world is moving forward at full speed. He is not insulting anyone. In fact, he is pleading for people to wake up and see how far we have fallen behind. He says this is not even the computer age anymore. This is the jet age, the era of artificial intelligence. Yet, Nigeria is still stuck fighting over religion and tribalism, things that will never take us anywhere. Then he shared something shocking. On his way to bury his father, he passed through Abuja at night, and what did he see? Herds of cows roaming freely on major roads, including the one leading to Transcorp Hotel. He asked, which other country in the world allows this in their capital city? None. And that is just one example. According to him, as long as we keep operating like this, the North will never allow Nigeria to grow. Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
If you are a northern youth and you are listening to this video, you probably will not like the video. But if you pay attention and reason, you might understand that I am not mocking you. I'm actually trying to open your eyes to the realities of how your leaders have degraded you to mere expectants who don't receive anything. The world is growing. The world is growing. This is the jet age of the... We're not even talking about computer age. We're not talking about artificial intelligence. People have explored the horizon of knowledge. People have gone very, very far. Yet, we are still fighting on the base of religion, tribalism, and things that will not set up high. Now, I make bold to say that if we continue the way we are, the North will never allow Nigeria to grow. The North will never allow Nigeria to develop. And I'm going to list a few things why this is so. Now, the other day I was traveling from my dad's burial, and we made a stopover in Abuja in the night. Cows are being herded through the streets of Abuja. In which country where you see the main capital, that road that leads to Transcorp Hotel, in which country in the world would you see that farmers are herding their cattle on the major street of the capital of a nation? Where? Now, one other thing that will prevent the North from allowing Nigeria to develop is religion. Most northern Muslims, they hold their religion dearer than any other developmental features you bring. That's why most of their politicians, after looting money and stealing money, they just come and build one mosque for them. They will see that as a big achievement for that politician. Whereas the mosque does not provide employment. The mosque does not invent aeroplane. The mosque does not give you economic value. It's just a spiritual entanglement, if I should even add that. Now, another reason why North will always hold us backward is that their politicians are the most uninventive, the most uncreative politicians in the whole world. And I'll tell you why. Now, let me take Borno State, for instance. Do you know the type of land these people have? Do you know that the North is richer than the South? If only they can concentrate on agriculture. But rather than concentrate on agriculture, They concentrate on, they wait for monthly subvention from oil in Abuja, money from Abuja. You cannot develop when you place religion as a more priority than developmental features. You cannot. No country who places religion first to develop. It's not possible. Then the other reason is the feudalistic nature. By feudalism, this is the only place where you see people pride themselves for being poor, and those who are rich also commend them for remaining poor. This is the only place in the world where you hear somebody will say, Allah yabaka kabamu. That means God give you so that you give to me. Not God give also. God give to you so that you give to me. It's a suppressive mentality and a subservient mentality that you don't believe you can become a billionaire. In the South, everybody believes that he can be a billionaire. Everybody. But here you see that, and they wrap this poverty mentality with this statement that it is what's the word I'm looking for? Not satisfaction. That means you are satisfied with what you have. You are contented with what you have. Sense of, oh, the word is missing me. What's this rubbish? That you are contented. That's not true. Man is built to aspire to the limit of, you are meant to aspire to the summit of success. You don't just stay in one place and say, this is where God has put me, how God wants it. You can't develop with people with that kind of mindset. Everybody need to aspire. By aspiration, places develop. Have you wondered why? States that were created with states like Delta State, for instance. You can't compare Delta State and a state like Kebbi, which were created the same day. You can't. In fact, if you go to states like Kebbi, you'll be wondering why such a state was created in the first place. Katsina State. Okay, the other reason why I've seen this is they love power. You want to grab power. When you grab the power, what do you do with it? Katsina State has produced more presidents in this country than any other state. But go to Katsina. The only time Katsina State had a sense of development, because I've been to Katsina State, the main bypass that goes through Katsina State was done by Goodluck Jonathan. The only federal university that they have that is not a beehive of activities was brought by Jonathan, which means southern politicians are developmentally oriented. Does it mean that the president before Jonathan didn't know that the state needed university? Because the politicians did not constantly want the people, the youth, to remain illiterate. Because the lack of knowledge prevents you from the lack of realization, the lack of awareness, self-development, realization, and actualization. They don't have it. So when we say, it's as if we're passing insults to the North. And then when you begin to make it possible that the criteria for education is low. For me, I had to write JAM 3 times. My first JAM I wrote, I had 214. It was more than what eventually 3 years later when I wrote, than what the Northern Medugri man got as merito. Whereas the second time I wrote JAM, I scored 224. I still couldn't get it. It was the third time when I wrote, I got 264 before I got it. I went and I was registering with somebody who had 170. You can see the difference. His own cutoff mark is almost half of what I had to score to get into the university. Because of this lack of competition, everybody has become, nobody takes education, because after all, education in Nigeria does not really determine who you are. Education in Nigeria does not determine who you are, and they know it. So the need to strive to have education is not there, because you're not encouraged. And those who manage to get the education believe that you don't need to put in too much effort. Just get it, and you will still go to Abuja and become director in one district. And yet, when you begin to put mediocre in places of professionalism, what do you get? Rubbish. Nigeria cannot develop with this. I was when I was registering then, I remember, and I just remember, when I was registering in accounting, there was a lady that they gave medicine. She went and said that she can't do medicine, or she don't have head for medicine. Academic officer, whatever officer they call, slapped her back. She go and do it. Now, the girl says she can't do, but she says she can't do it. Now, this girl will now go and open clinic and be stitching people anyhow. Mediocrity is so celebrated in the North. Now, I do this video not to mock the North, but because the attitude of lackadaisicality, if there's a word like that, nonchalance, a French word, and this idea that whether I struggle or I don't struggle, I will still go to Abuja and become a director. It has to stop. It has to stop. Development comes with a mind of aspiration. You have to aspire. Not this idea of let's grab politics, power comes to the south, then you just go, you do rankadere, now share money for you, you go back and marry many wives and do this. Imagine governors in Kaduna, in one of these states in the north, saying has to give money for many boys to get married and produce what? If you boast of a population, you have to also know the quality of population you have. Yes, you say you have the population. What type of population? Are they illiterate population or educated population? We must get this thing right. We must get this thing right.
There's a big attack on the educational system in northern Nigeria. There's a serious agenda to keep the people of northern Nigeria uneducated. Why was Almajiri school system scrapped? Why was it abandoned? Why are the insurgents and insecurity affecting schools? Why is the Almajiri system that is leading a lot of children astray, that is causing untimely deaths of children, malnutrition? All these abandoned children are used as pawns during whatever. Why are they still allowed to function? I'm not a Muslim, so for one, I would not tell you I understand wholeheartedly what the Almajiri system is all about. But I have questions. Who accounts for the lives of these children when they die untimely? Who accounts for them when they do not eat? Why is this system allowed to flourish in the north? Even though we know it does more harm than good. A lot of people will come after me and start attacking me and say, Almajiri, you don't understand it, keep quiet. I know, when I don't do it before, so it's not news. I'm not bothered about you and I don't even care about what you think. I'm just asking these questions. Why is it that all the schools that have been attacked are mostly in the north? First, the northern system of education is even, I will talk about it separately. For now, I definitely and I am very sure that the system of education in northern Nigeria is planned. There's just a plan around it. Think about it for a second. All the school children that have been kidnapped, all the universities, the secondary schools that have been attacked, what areas are they? Why is it that people are not bringing educational system and programs to northern Nigeria? We have the highest number of out-of-school children, yet we still keep building mosques and churches. Nobody's building school, nobody's rehabilitating the children, nobody's giving these scholarships that you are seeing, all of them are scam. Because how many scholarships do they give to the north? The very few elites who send the children out abroad to study, they attack them. Congo also tried it. What happened? Did somebody continue? No. Our children had to be brought back to Nigeria because some of them could not pay their school fees. Had to be absorbed back into the system. So why is the system of education in northern Nigeria under attack? We need to answer this question. I'm honestly very concerned. Have you seen the teachers in the north? Go on.
So the hardest thing I've had to accept since I've been here is that Hausas, my tribe, my people, unfortunately are not going to allow Nigeria to become what it's meant to be. The mindset of the northern Nigerians are going to destroy this country. I'm sorry to say it. So this is an idea I had, right? It was very simple. Raise money, build orphanages, massive orphanages, and pick up the Almajiris off the street. Take the Almajiris off the street. Teach them engineering. Teach them tech. Teach them coding. Take them off the streets and teach them, try to get them up to par so they can compete. And I brought up how every time I had this conversation, I would bring up the 4 Indian kids, the 4 Indian boys, like 10-year-old boys that were online, or they were doing the live chat and building an app. Every time I bring up this idea to a northerner, the first thing they ask is, well, what about Islam? What about Qur'ani? What about Islamic school? When I say I have met incredible resistance to the idea of taking these boys off the streets. and getting them to join the global age. Like, my mindset is this. Every corner you go in northern Nigeria, there are 5 people willing to teach these boys Islamic school, Quran. There are 10 people willing to teach them everything they need to learn about Islam. Why isn't there anyone willing to teach them anything else? So when I brought that up, some people were like, I had people going, it will never happen unless I have to teach them Islamic curriculum in the schools. I said, you don't understand. Northern Nigerians are against the idea of changing the trajectory and the outcomes of Almajiris. They say Almajiranchi, which is what it is embedded in our culture. And here's the thing. No, it's not. And as a Muslim, it's haram. I fucking said it. Any northern Nigerian that wants to step the fuck up, do it. It is haram. Because you are not allowed to bring a child into this world that you cannot raise. And there are fuck ton of Hausa men and women who have babies with no intention of, they know they will only take care of that child to a certain age, then they'll pawn that child off. There are a fuck ton of imams, men in the north, who rely on these kids for a living. They send these boys out every day to go earn a living and come back and give them. I thought up an idea that, look, we need to find a way to raise money, build orphanages, teach these boys tech, teach them engineering, teach them robotics, let them compete with the global populace. And every time I bring this up, every fucking Hausa person I tell this shit to wants to argue with me. They say it's not going to. They are vehemently against this. So I need you to understand, I need to ask you, how will Nigeria as a fucking country compete with the likes of Ghana, South Africa, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, when the northern Nigeria is part of Nigeria? The most fucked up thing I'm going to have to say as a Hausa man is, for Nigeria to advance, they have to get rid of Hausa. They have to get the north Nigeria, it can never work. This is a sad realization that it can never work. Like, this is insane. And I am Hausa. This is fucking crazy. Wait, let me show you something. Right here, this is attestation of citizenship from New York. As you can see, I am from Shanono local government in Kano State. I am as fucking northern Hausa as it fucking gets. I am as Aboki as it could possibly fucking get. And I am saying, Nigeria, to win, to compete on the global stage, Nigeria will have to get rid of the north. It will not happen with my people are actively holding this country back. It is so fucking insane.
I totally agree with you. If Nigeria wants to be a well-developed nation and a better country, they need to cut out the northern part of Nigeria. Facts. Now, for context, I was born and brought up in the northern part of Nigeria, Kaduna to be precise. I'm well-traveled in Nigeria before I left the country. I've been privileged to travel to every state in Nigeria. And I can categorically tell you for free that the northern part of Nigeria is the least developed place in Nigeria. And the sad part is, a lot of people are going to hear what you say in the north and they will not take it the right way, because the message you're trying to pass is something that will not only benefit the country, it will benefit the youth. But sadly, they have been indoctrinated, they have been brainwashed, using religion to brainwash their people. Now, I want to make this clear. This video is not to criticize Hausa, the tribe, and also it's not meant to criticize Islam, the religion, because I know a lot of people are going to completely misconstrue this or going to misinterpret this. The point I'm trying to make is the leaders, the northern leaders, including the government and the religious leaders like the imam, the people on the top part. In my opinion, it's a deliberate move to keep their people in poverty and keep their people less informed. Because tell me why, till this day, an Hausa person is going to choose to enroll their kids in Islamic school instead of giving them a real education. In fact, they frown upon it to have their kids go get real education. Tell me why till this day they normalize Almajiri. It's almost like a culture for kids to be hawking and begging on the streets. The northern part of Nigeria has the highest rate of beggars in that country. You see, now I know Nigeria itself has a lot of issue. We do have, I admit we have a lot of issue, but we're talking about the northern part of Nigeria that is holding the country back because of their mindset and the way they do things there. As somebody that grew up there, it's frustrating to see that you will see a politician, a well-established politician or a rich, popular Hausa man. Every Friday he will be sharing sadaka. You will see almajiris from the head of from the top of from the street to his house. He will be sharing sadaka. Instead of using that money or those things to establish a school, a factory, or something that's going to make these people self-sufficient, so that's going to create job opportunity. So I have come to the conclusion that this is a deliberate move to keep their people in poverty, to keep their people less informed, because we all know by the time you strip the people from education, they don't have a mind of their own, it's easy for you to control them. That is why you're going to get a tremendous resistance if you try to come talk about education, or if you try to come talk about development. They will push back so hard so that way they can keep their people in poverty. So shout out to you for sharing light on this. I know what it takes as an Hausa man, to criticize your own people. And I know how the Hausa people think. I know how you're going to be looked on, especially with your look, So I agree with you that Hausa, or the northern part of Nigeria, I'm not saying Hausa, the tribe, just to be clear, the northern part of Nigeria is holding the country back. I understand we do have a lot of issues, but we're talking about civilization and development. So in my opinion, I believe this is a deliberate move from the politicians, religious leaders, to still keep their people in a dark place, so that way they don't have a mind of their own. Now, we're not even talking about, when you talk about politics, the highest positions in politics are held by Hausa people. Yet, there's more poverty in the north, where they are from. There's more almajiris where all these politicians are from. The biggest positions in politics in Nigeria are held by the Hausas. But where they are from, less civilization. So I agree with you, and shout out to you for speaking on something like this. And it is what it is. Very hard to take them or to change their mindset. I know how Hausa people think.
I believe Nigeria has to split, or Nigeria has to go back into regionalism. Ideally, don't split, but go back into regionalism, because the way Nigeria is set up right now just does not work. I'm being honest with you. Nigeria is set up to support numbers, support your location. And if you are a northerner, as you can see, the north, I'm from the south, I'm a southerner. If you are from the north, you're most likely Muslim. And the way Nigeria is built to support religion and numbers. And the north have both. If you are from the south, the chances of you becoming the president of Nigeria is forgotten. I, as an Ibibio man from Akwa Ibom State, I can never become president of Nigeria. I can never even become a top-ranking member of office, because I am from the southern part of Nigeria, and But I'm going to say this even more. You see, a lot of the mess people hear about Nigeria typically comes from the north, from the terrorism to the illiteracy to the poverty. It's from the north. I'm going to I'll make a deeper video on this, but let me show you guys some. So this is how Nigeria is set up. You see, there's a southwest there, there's a south, and there's a southeast. That's the southern part of Nigeria. And if you look at the north, right, from north central to northwest to northeast, that's the bulk of Nigeria. Nigeria has 230 million people. The north has 60% of 230 million people, guys. Nigeria has 230 million people. The north has more than 60% of that number. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If you take Nigeria and you split the south and the north, the southern part of Nigeria automatically becomes one of the best African countries. I'm telling you. I'm not saying Nigeria should split. I like Nigeria as it is on paper, because the numbers give us an advantage. The GDP as a collective gives us an advantage. However, we most definitely have to go back into regionalism so that people can have more autonomy over their regions. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, because right now Nigeria doesn't work. If you are not a northerner and you're not Muslim, forget it. Nigeria is built to support your religion, Muslim, Islam, and support numbers, the north. That's why if you look at Nigeria, most of our presidents have been from the north. Let me show you more things. If you look further into these details, you will see northern Nigeria is facing a raft of problems. It is economically disadvantaged compared to the rest of the country. That's a lie. The north of Nigeria is not economically disadvantaged. The north has about 43 solid minerals that are of commercial value. There is gold in the north. There is even oil in the north. There is every single commercial mineral you can find in the world. It's in the northern part of Nigeria. But the thing is this, the northern leaders, the northern elites want to focus on oil and gas in the south. And the northern elites deliberately keep the northerners poor and hungry because they're easier to control. They don't want to develop the north, because if you develop the north, the people cannot be your zombies anymore. So they keep them hungry, they keep them angry, they keep them poor, they keep them ignorant so that they're easier to control. This is what's going on in the northern part of Nigeria. This is it. This is the truth. So what I want to share with the global community is this. The bulk of the mess you hear about Nigeria comes from the northern part of Nigeria. From the poverty, to the violence, to the terrorism, to the child marriages, to the chaos. Most of it comes from the north. I'm not saying the south is perfect. Absolutely not. But I'm telling you, if you separate the northern part of Nigeria right now and you separate the south, I kid you not, the southern part of Nigeria automatically becomes one of the best countries in Nigeria. Let me show you one more thing and then I'll shut up. So what you guys see here is the 25 most educated states in Nigeria. Okay? 25 most educated states in Nigeria. This is from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. But I want to show you guys something. Let's take a look at some of the states, because I don't think I can go through all 25. So you have Imo State, Lagos State, Ekiti State. These three states are in the southern part of Nigeria. Okay? Again, you have Rivers State, Abia State, Anambra State. Rivers State is in south-south, Abia State is in southeast, Anambra State is in southeast. Then you have Osun State. Osun State is in southwest. Edo State is in Niger Delta, south-south. Enugu State is in southeast. These are the top 25 educated states in Nigeria. Let's continue. Delta State is in the south-south. Bayelsa State is in the south-south. Kogi State is in the north, somewhere in the north. Then you have Ogun State. Ogun State is in the southwest. Ondo State is in the southwest. Oyo State is in the southwest as well. Then you have Cross River State in the south-south. This is where my mother is from. Akwa Ibom State in the south-south. This is where my father is from. Federal Capital Territory. This is in the north. So you guys see, this is what I'm talking about. The most educated people in Nigeria come from the southern part of Nigeria. The most intellectually capable people come from the southern part of Nigeria. So imagine, because of the way Nigeria is set up, the average southerner can never get into leadership position because they're not a lot and because they're not Muslim. So this is how Nigeria is set up. Nigeria is set up to favor the northern part of Nigeria because they have more numbers and because they're Muslim. That's it. This is why Nigeria is chaotic. So most Southerners now are calling for separation. Most Southerners now are calling for regionalism because, dude, we are not going to leave the hand of our country in some guy who doesn't even know what it means to be educated. We're not going to give the future of our country and our location in the hands of somebody who probably doesn't understand the essence of, collaboration. It makes no sense. So that's why for me personally, as a Southerner, I absolutely support regionalization. I support regionalism because it makes the most sense for my people. It makes the most sense for my state. I don't think, while I appreciate Nigeria and I think Nigeria needs to stay together, but we need to stay together as a confederacy. A federation does not work because what we have currently as a federation is a few people from the north deciding what happens for everybody else, and you have not even developed your region. How can you be in leadership position in Nigeria for over 2 decades? And the north is still one of the most underdeveloped places in the world, in Nigeria, in Africa. I'll make a deeper video on this.